Good evening. Thank you. This is the reconvened special meeting of regarding the shade session for today's date. The meeting started at 6:30. It is now 7:01, and I'd like a motion to adjourn the special meeting.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming here. This is Dania Beach City Commission regular meeting, Tuesday, March 14th, 20. I'm sorry, I gotta go to the other meeting. Oh, okay. No rush. Okay. Okay, once again, thank you everybody for attending. This is Dania Beach City Commission regular meeting, Tuesday, March 14th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Clerk, could we please have a roll call?
Mayor Ryan,
Here.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn,
Here.
Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner James,
Here.
Commissioner Salvino,
1 second. Go ahead.
Here.
City Manager Garcia,
Here.
City Attorney Bootsas.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Clerk. Everybody, please bow their heads for a moment of silence. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with item 3.1 from the Education Advisory Board. This is a Parks and Recreation item. How you doing, Mr. Brown?
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners,
Should be on.
City Manager, City Attorney, City Staff, Eric Brown, Parks and Recreation Director.
1 second, Eric. Why is it not? Okay, cool.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm here today to introduce Mary G. from the from the Education Advisory Board, and she have a great challenge that she's going to bring before you guys today. And we are, as a Parks Department, we are so excited to have volunteers like Mary on working with us, and also working with our kids in Dania Beach. Our education does look future with our youth. So without further ado, come on down, Mary.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor Ryan, Vice Mayor Llewellyn, Commissioners Davis, James, Salvino, City Manager Garcia, and Deputy City Manager Sosa Cruz. My name is Mary Guerra, and I am here as the chair on behalf of the Dania Beach Education Advisory Board. We're here honored to present an initiative before you tonight to support and promote a love for literacy among the students in our community. We'd like to introduce to you the Dania Beach Readers Challenge, where each commissioner and city managers will engage in storytelling time for a minimum of 30 minutes per sitting during after-school and community recreation programs throughout the Dania Beach community. The commissioner or city managers who logs in the most hours within the time frame wins the reading challenge. The benefit of the Dania Beach Readers Challenge is to show the young readers that the successful adults in charge of the city they live in are truly invested in their education through storytelling. And for the commissioners and city managers, it's a wonderful opportunity to engage with a thriving young community of learners and encourage the lifelong excitement of reading and learning. If this initiative is approved, the challenge will take place between March 15 and April 18, 2023. And the commissioners and city managers will be provided with their participation logging sheet. We'd like to propose the presentation of the winner of this Readers' Challenge at the commission meeting on March 9th, 2023. In addition, on this same date. Oh. April? April 9th, sorry, April 9th, 2023.
April,
It will be May 9th. It will be May 9th.
May
We're
9th.
gonna go until March. It'll be May. Oh,
May
yeah, you
9th.
said, yeah.
May
that's-
9th.
Yeah, May.
May 9th, yeah, I thought I said
She
May
had it
9th.
right. She had it
May
right,
9th,
she
I'm
just-
sorry. May 9th, 2023, I apologize. In addition, on this same date, we would like to request the city to do a proclamation to acknowledge Teachers Appreciation Week. During this proclamation from our schools, Collins Elementary, Daney Elementary, and Olson Middle School, we will recognize one teacher, one staff member, and one parent, as well as one student who will be honored as the Kid of Character. I thank you all for this time and for your consideration, and I hope to personally greet each and every one of you during the Dania Beach Readers Challenge.
Thank you, Mary. Next, we have item 3.2. Oh, sorry. Commissioner Davis.
Know how the scheduling goes. Do we go to the schools themselves and we just kind of, meet up with the principal? Do I get to go to my favorite teacher's classroom and say, can I come as many times
It's
as I
during
want?
yes, it's during the after-school programs, and we can send you more information about each after-school program and the person in contact and their telephone number.
Okay, I just didn't know the process. Thank you.
Any other questions that I can answer?
Okay, thank you again, Mary. For item 3.2, we have a business and parking garage signage by the Deputy City Manager, Candido.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, residents, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Team. My name's Candido Sosa Cruz, Deputy City Manager. And if we could go to the first slide, please. I'm sorry. They kind of jumped up there. The first one, the cover page. That's the last one. Tonight's presentation, it's going to be a very brief presentation, but I'm going to be covering a proposal to update our business signage code and also a plan to promote our parking garage to everyone. If we could get the PowerPoint presentation up, please. All right, I'll filibuster for a little bit. Part of the city team's goal and their mission is always to look for ways to support the businesses, to support the residents of our city, to make things easier, to provide them additional flexibility in order to run their business or in order just to live in our city. This one? Okay, you can leave it there. Thank you. Okay. On this slide, you're going to see our current business signage code and our proposed business signage code. What we did as a team is we looked at our business signage code, which was broken up into different zoning districts. Each zoning district had a very different code when it comes to business signage. We took the best components from each district, then we compared it to our neighboring cities to see where we stand. After doing this review and assessment, we increased the flexibility and we removed any obstacles or barriers to businesses in order to have either a business sign or a temporary business sign. For example, the very first one where it says temporary signs, which is what we call banners, currently a business can only have a temporary sign or a banner 3 times a year within 12 months. But there's a lot of restrictions to how they could use it. It could only be used for a grand opening, a semi-annual sale, a going out of business, a legal holiday, or a change in ownership. We're proposing 6 temporary banners with no restrictions, allowing the business to dictate what they prefer to advertise with one of these banners. It could be for Taco Tuesdays, it could be St. Patrick's Day sale, it could be anything that the business desires. Therefore, we want to move away from the 3 very restricted temporary signs to now having 6, and each one of them could be used for 30 days. And if you go down the list, you'll see that we also expanded the size of the signage. Pretty much from awning signs, wall signs, monument signs, window signs covering your window. We increased it from 10% to 20% coverage, as well as hand-painted signs. Hand-painted signs are only allowed in the CRA. Now we're pretty much doing it everywhere in the city. So now what we're proposing is one comprehensive business signage for everywhere in the city, allowing the most flexibility and supporting the businesses in what they want to do, how they want to advertise their business through their signage. So at the end of the presentation, there's 3 things I'm going to see if we have consensus in order to move forward with this proposal. Our parking garage. Pretty much the same thing goes for our parking garage. We have a very huge underutilized parking garage that most people aren't aware where it's located and that it's free. Currently, only City Hall and library customers could park in the parking garage, and also employees of the downtown city center. What we're proposing is allowing everyone to use the city parking garage during the hours of 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. for free. There still won't be any overnight parking, but we're trying to open it up to everyone to start creating this destination in our downtown city center area. In order to promote and market the parking garage, we're working with a parking consultant, and they've established 12 locations to put signage indicating or notifying visitors where our parking garage is. As you could see, we'll have signage on Griffin Road, on Old Griffin, on Federal Highway, on Dania Beach Boulevard, on Sterling, and in the close proximity to the parking garage. Where you see the P, that's where currently our City Hall parking garage area is. And we would like to notify everyone where it is, and again, opening it up for everyone free from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Here are some examples of the signage that we're discussing. The first one all the way to the left has the city name, it has the C for parking, and it has the public parking signature as well. The second one is a little bit more modern. It just has parking with the P. And down in the bottom, you see kind of some wayfinding signs where you see public parking, City Hall, and it kind of indicates where the facilities are. And then the bottom right is the basic public parking. We'll probably be utilizing several of the different formats. We'll come to you with options so we could all kind of agree on what type of parking and what type of parking signs. But today, what we'll be asking you is consensus on 3 main items. One is, do we have consensus on amending our business signage? 2, can we change the accessibility to our parking garage, being so restrictive to open it up to everyone during 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.? And 3, the locations for the business sign. And again, we'll come back with the exact type of signage and more details on the exact locations. That concludes my presentation. If there's any questions?
Thank you very much, Deputy City Manager. Commissioner Davis?
Yes, I just want to say I think it's high time that we looked at these signage issues. I have heard so many complaints from businesses around that they have been antiquated and really prevent businesses from promoting themselves and really getting the maximum exposure that they need to be a successful business in this city. So I'm really happy to see that. I know that when I travel to Boca and go to Meisner Park, their entire parking garages are free and they allow the public to come in. Obviously, you have to pay when you get to the surrounding businesses, but the parking in Boca is free. So if we're really going to move towards the long-term goal of activating this as an entertainment center and having people to enjoy the city, I think we're moving in a forward direction, and I thank you for updating this, and it's high time that we did that, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner James?
Yes, thank you. I echo most of what Commissioner Davis has said. I do have a few questions, though. With the signage that is considered hand-painted, how do you decipher what is considered hand-painted and what is considered art, I guess, or what then is considered a mural? Like, how do you navigate that?
That hand-painted signs is just the business name,
It can only be the business name.
the business name, correct.
But-
Kind of what Antonio's did on Federal Highway with their
So those are
signage.
specific specs I'm asking of how big it can be, and because I can paint a business name and it look like graffiti, or I don't want to open Pandora's box, and I want to be consistent because, you can have Pronto Pizza that write Pronto all the way down, and is that considered a sign or is that considered a mural? So I don't know if we have those restrictions in place. Go ahead.
We do. We have specifics as far as size, location, what it could include. Once they submit an application, the Community Development Department will guide them as far as what's allowed and what differentiates a sign from a mural.
Okay, great. And then my second question is, I saw that for part 3 of your presentation with the parking signs, I want to be careful and be sure that, we put in something to maybe do wayfinding signs, and so I want to make sure whatever we are going to choose for parking, that is consistent with whatever we're going to end up doing for wayfinding signs, because I don't want it to be two completely different things. I think we are way overdue for wayfinding signs. A long time ago, I wish we would have had that discussion, but I want to make sure that it's all comprehensive and it goes together. Maybe you guys have an idea what we want to do for wayfinding signs, or we're just going to start with the parking, or what is your idea with that?
Well, definitely I'll be working with the city manager, and as we always do, we'll probably do a workshop to be able to get into the weeds as far as colors, size, location. Do we want it to just be an arrow and a P? Do we want to add City Hall, library, which will be the wayfinding signs? So we'll definitely probably do a workshop to be able to get into the details and have options for you to choose.
If I may, through the mayor, that's a very good question, and our goal is to stay consistent and seamless with the colors, with the P for parking, as well as the wayfinding signs. And I want to remind you that this game plan came from the directive that you all gave us and that CRA workshop that you had. And as we're driving through other cities, be it in Broward, Boca, or even, Coral Gables in your neck of the woods, we would see parking garage signs. So we would be driving, we could stop at that restaurant, and even though there might not be parking there, we knew right around the back there was a parking garage, and we didn't have that there. So grateful to you, and I just want everybody to know that that came from the workshop that you had, and we just hit the ground running in regards to this game plan to introduce to you.
Okay, so the parking signs are going to be phase 1 of the wayfinding?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
And I agree with you, Commissioner. It should be uniform. Whatever we start, we should be able to continue with the wayfinding signs.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner James. Commissioner Salvino?
Yeah, Candido, just a quick question on opening the parking garage up to everybody. I know that we have contracts with the hotel and so on, that they have to have designated parking spots to work it out. Now, what's going to keep them from overflow?
What do you mean by
Well, I mean,
overflow?
they have designated spots for the people that are supposed to be parking in there. You sell them so many spots a year. Now, what happens in certain times that they just keep, that we're not, now that they may have more people knowing that the parking garage is wide open now, what keeps them from just using our
The
parking garage?
leases that we have in place are for overnight parking, for visitors of the hotel, for visitors of some of the other developments, that people will come and stay overnight. What we're requesting is just for daytime parking, or at least non-overnight parking, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, I understand. I just find, once you open that up, it's hard to control the other businesses that had to meet our criteria to build their building with the parking spots, we put together a program where they were paying us for the spots to make their building go up, and now we're opening it up, and that means that even though they're paying us for the spots that are under contract, but it opens up them to park more in there and could fill up some of the spots that could be used by outside residents.
Commissioner, and, excuse me, if we have, for example, under contract, and Eve was just shaking her hand at 12 that we have to provide for the hotel, then those 12 would be marked for the hotel.
But what happens if they drive in there, that drive into the hotel, and they tell them, just go park across the street, the parking garage is now open to anybody?
Well, the parking garage is open, but that doesn't mean that we cannot have X amount reserved for whomever we have under contract.
It's just something I'm bringing up because I know how hard everybody fought about, bringing in extra parking and variances and so on like that. I just think it's something of concern, that's all.
Yeah, no, we would honor any contract that we have present and future with anyone, and those will be marked for so-and-so only, this business only.
And as a matter of fact, last year, we even extended it to let's use the hotel, for instance. They were parking on the third and fourth floor. We lowered it to the second and third floor, but the reality is most of their parking spaces are empty.
Yeah.
They don't have enough people with vehicles occupying their marked and designated parking spaces.
Thank you.
But if there ever is a challenge, we could always pivot and address it, but at this time, honestly, the overall parking garage is underutilized, even by the leaseholders.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn, go ahead.
Thank you. My question was going to be similar. It's not going to preclude certain businesses or other entities that are there from potentially contracting with the city to utilize the garage, because I know, like, there's the business that's going in on the first floor of the Celeste Seaside, and there might be others that come in that might need.
Absolutely not. Like Candido said, pivoting is part of what we do. So what may be in place today may not be in place in 10 years. We might become so popular that it may be a pay to park.
Right.
Right? Or there might be something for residents versus non-residents. But right now, the game plan is to activate this to be able to energize and maximize the full potential of Federal Highway that right now kind of
Right.
ghosty.
Right. And we're very fortunate that we do have so much parking
Right.
that is
But
available.
if nobody knows about it, does it
Absolutely.
exist?
It's an issue. So I tell people all the time, you go park in City Hall. So anyway. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner James?
Yes, lastly, I'm thinking about, now Commissioner Salvino's made me think about something else, because we're talking about Lucky Fish, we're talking about other options of what we may need to do for adequate parking. And even if you put that signage there, that this is for this Hotel Dello, or this is for this business, how do you police if those parking spaces are utilized by the people? Like, I can say that I'm going to Hotel Dello just because it's a parking spot there and I need it, I can just park there. How do you know who's parking there? How do you, I don't know.
The leaseholders give passes that the visitors will place on the dashboard.
Okay.
Our beach rangers that oversee parking enforcement, they monitor if any cars are parked there, and they will give them a ticket.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, no, I don't have any comments. I think this is a great idea, and our parking garage has been underutilized for a long time, so it's nice that we're bringing it to light.
So Mayor,
Commissioner, go ahead.
I just want to reiterate, do I have consensus on the
Yes,
3 items
that's
from
what I
the
was doing,
commission? Thank you.
consensus, yeah.
We have consensus. Okay. All right, let's move into section 4. We have a couple proclamations to make. So, the first proclamation that I will start with is for Government Finance Professionals Month. So, on behalf of the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida, whereas the Florida Government Finance Officers Association, FGFOA, is a professional association founded in 1937 and it serves more than 3,300 professionals from state, county, and city governments, school districts, colleges, universities, special districts, and private firms. And whereas the FGFOA is dedicated to being a significant professional resource by providing opportunities through education, networking, leadership, and information. And whereas the FGFOA and its member governmental organizations recognize government finance professionals and the vital services that they provide to our state, cities, and our community. And whereas the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach recognizes that the City Finance Department plays a critical role in public service as stewards over citizens' shared financial resources that make possible the services that are essential to the safety, livability, and vitality of the Dania Beach community. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City of Dania Beach City Commission, I, A.J. Ryan IV, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as Government Finance Professionals Month and extend our appreciation to all government finance professionals throughout the state and here in the City of Dania Beach, and for their hard work, dedication, and leadership. Dated this 14th day of March, 2023. So, can't thank our finance department and Frank enough. So now, I would also like to have a proclamation for procurement services. So on behalf of the Office of the Mayor and the City of Dania Beach, Florida, whereas the public procurement profession plays a significant role in the efficiency and effectiveness of both government and business, and whereas in addition to the purchase of goods and services, procurement adds value to our organization by performing functions such as executing, implementing, and administering contracts, developing strategic procurement strategies, and cultivating working relationships with suppliers and other departments within our organization. And whereas the Procurement Division and the City of Dania Beach recognizes, supports, and practices the public procurement values and guiding principles of accountability, ethics, impartiality, professionalism, service, and transparency established by the Institution for Public Procurement, NIGP, as fundamental tenets of the public procurement profession. And whereas NIGP has proclaimed the month of March as Procurement Services Month to further expand the awareness of the procurement professionals' role to governmental officials, the public, business, and corporate leaders. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City of Dania Beach Commission, I, A.J. Ryan IV, Mayor of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as Procurement Services Month in the City of Dania Beach, Florida, and urge all citizens to join the City Commission in recognizing the vital role our procurement department fills in the daily operations of our city. Dated this 14th day of March, 2023. And we have a Women's History Month by Vice Mayor Lori Llewellyn. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. So, from the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida, whereas each year Women's History Month offers an important opportunity for us to shine a light on the extraordinary legacy of trailblazing American women and girls who have built, shaped, and improved upon our nation, and whereas American women have led movements for social and economic justice, made groundbreaking scientific discoveries, enriched our culture with stunning works of art and literature, and charted bold directions in our foreign policy. American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas women influential in Dania Beach's history, such as E.L. Vera Hill, the first female elected to the Dania Beach City Commission and the first female elected mayor, Leola Collins, community educator with Collins Elementary, named after her, Mildred Jones, community activist, Rose Lozana, publisher of Dania Beach Press, Anna M. Garcia, the first female city manager, Eve Boutsis, the first female city attorney. Current female elected officials, including myself, Vice Mayor Lori Llewellyn, Commissioner Joyce L. Davis, and Commissioner Tamara James, are just a few of the great women who helped change the shape and landscape of this great city. And whereas it's appropriate and fitting to recognize the Dania Women's Club during Women's History Month. The club was founded in 1907 and was known as the Dania Ladies Improvement Society. Later, 13 ladies were recognized as members of the Dania Civic Women's Club and had their first organizational meeting on July 18, 1923. The pioneering Ms. Ivy Stranahan was their advisor. The club's name was changed to the Dania Women's Club so they could join the County Federation of Women's Clubs. Mrs. Kay Wilkinson was elected as the first president. The Dania Women's Club is the oldest women's club in Broward County and to this day continues to thrive as a vibrant women's organization that works to benefit the Dania Beach community. The current president is Ms. Jessica Lozana. And whereas during Women's History Month, let us honor the accomplished and visionary women who have helped build our country, including those whose contributions have not been adequately recognized and celebrated. And let us pay tribute to the trailblazers from the recent and distant past for daring to envision a future for which no past precedent existed and for building a nation of endless possibilities for all its women and girls. And now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission and the mayor, we do hereby proclaim March 2023 as Women's History Month and encourage all residents of Dania Beach to recognize and celebrate the many ways that women's history has become woven into the fabric of our national story. Thank you.
Yes, and we have one more proclamation for one of those women that was just mentioned, who just passed away, who we lost, Rose Lozana. So this is a proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida. Whereas Rosalie Rose Saputo Lozana was born in 1943 to parents Joseph and Madeline Saputo and was the eldest of 3 children. And whereas Rose was the founder and publisher of the Dania Press newspaper, she founded the paper in 1983. Her mission statement was to always focus on the positive aspects of the local news and create a publication that made people smile. And whereas from a young age, Rose was the light and energy in any situation. She loved being a cheerleader at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. She studied at Washington University and joked that she majored in every subject except the subject that would become her profession, journalism. And whereas Rose met her future husband Bob on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. They married in 1974 and had 2 beautiful daughters, Catherine, Katie, and Jessica Lozana. The family moved to Dania Beach shortly thereafter, and whereas through her work as a journalist and publisher, Rose joined multiple organizations in Dania Beach, sitting on boards and fundraising. Rose was a member of the Dania Beach Lions Club, the Dania Beach Improvement Committee, Dania Beach Women's Club, American Legion Post 304 Women's Auxiliary, and the Italian-American Chamber of Commerce. She was also the president of Dania Beach Kiwanis Club and the president of Dania Beach Chamber of Commerce. And whereas in 2014, after a fall and the birth of her granddaughter, River Rogers, Rose handed over the reins of publisher to her daughter, Jessica Lozana, while staying on as a consultant, proofing stories and sharing her knowledge in Dania Beach, a city that she lived, loved, and worked in for over 40 years. And whereas on February 25th, 2023, 2 days shy of her 80th birthday, Rose passed away peacefully surrounded by her family and friends. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City of Dania Beach City Commission, I, A.J. Ryan IV, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 14th, 2023 as Rosalie Saputo Lozana Day in the City of Dania Beach, Florida, and do offer our sincere condolences to her family. Rose was a pioneering newswoman who was greatly loved by the Dania Beach community. She will be deeply missed by all of us. Dated this 14th day of March, 2023. Could I ask you guys to come up and we can present you with a proclamation? Oh, his grandson. Say granddaughter. Oh, okay. You guys want to say something? No? Let Jessica say something.
I just want to thank everybody for acknowledging Mom and her grandson, River. We're all here today. My sister Katie came out too, and I feel like all I've been doing is talking about her, so I'm a bit not able right now, but that was beautiful. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, and I know every single person on this dais called me and said they wanted to do this, and you know, it's through the mayor, but I know it's through all of you, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry, young man. Stay low.
eyes on me. Thank you.
Okay.
Here you go. Okay, now we'll move to citizen comments. We have Mr. Adams, if you could please step up and say your name and address.
Good evening, Commissioners. Bob Adams, 330 Southeast 3rd Terrace. I just want to pay a compliment. A couple days ago, I sent an email through the city manager. Some time ago, my recycling bin disappeared. I got a call back from, I don't recall his name. He identified himself as the Assistant Director of Public Services at 9 o'clock last night. And I had a new recycling bin about 10 o'clock this morning. 9 o'clock at night, that was very pleasantly surprising. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. We're always happy to hear about steadfast, speedy service from our city. All right, now we have Captain Danny Marks for our public safety report, followed by Chief Sergio Pellicer.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Just a quick update on our operation from Southeast 5th Ave in reference to the traffic complaints that we received there. Since the last meeting, we issued 40 citations, 47 warnings. We made 2 arrests, made 40 citizen contacts, and we held 9 roll calls out there. We've made 56 arrests since the last meeting. Some of the more important ones, we executed 1 narcotic search warrant with SWAT, which resulted in the seizure of crack cocaine and a loaded gun, which was in the possession of a convicted felon. We arrested a female for trafficking in the lethal drug fentanyl, as well as MDMA. And we located and arrested a suspect who had warrants for manslaughter with a firearm and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I'd like to share a little success story in reference to one of our chronic homeless residents. For the past several months, Deputy Hatfield and Spicer have been working endlessly in obtaining supporting documents and identification for an at-large Dania Beach client in order to secure permanent housing through Broward Housing Solutions under a mental health grant. They maintained required mental health group calls to Chrysalis Health as required by the Housing Solutions to be considered for this opportunity. The Multi-Agency Homeless Task Force Board approved coverage for the client's move-in costs, which were almost $800. She's now living in her own apartment. They received assistance from former Mayor Robert Chun, who was happy to provide full furnishings. In addition, we received support from our BSO employees who gathered items to ensure all kitchen, bathroom, and cleaning supplies were provided. We continue to provide daily support to the client. This was a very drastic transition for her, and in the midst of this process, her husband succumbed to the homeless environment, which almost jeopardized this success story, as it played sadly with her mental health stabilization. 2 of our deputies are coming on board on March 22nd, with the remainder coming shortly thereafter, and I will keep everybody posted on when we get the rest of them. At this time, I'd like to introduce Deputy Pecoraro, Detective Pecoraro, and our canine, Aka. He's going to speak a little bit briefly about what the dog. All right. She's a little high strung.
She's trying to work.
Chief, can you go up there with
Yeah, absolutely.
so we
Let's go.
can take a
probably be better.
With the dog. No, not us.
She's been trying to wait patiently, but she's desperately trying to work.
Look, over there,
Dogs don't like pets, you know, they're high speed. So she's trained on 4 different odors. She's trained on cannabis, cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. Oh,
okay, look that way for the photo. Wait till Linda sees them.
Officer, if you could please speak into the mic, just so we can hear. Yeah. Detective, sorry.
That's okay, it's just a matter of keeping her still. All right. Better? Yeah. Okay, so her name is Aka. I started working with her about a year ago. She's not gonna sit still. She's trained on cannabis, heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine. She's with me 24/7. She comes home with me. I work on the Dania Beach Crime Suppression Team. As you can see, she's trying to work. But yeah, she's a great resource to have. She's a great conduit to get into vehicles, to find other items such as stolen firearms, stuff like that. So she's definitely helped seize firearms, money, and narcotics. But you have any questions? While she's being still, preferably.
She's been a great asset.
She's 2 years old, so she's go, go, go. And yeah, she's been a nice addition to the family. Kids like her.
How long will she serve for?
This dog, at least 5 years.
At least 5.
Probably with the way she is and the breed that she is, if I were to stay a handler for the next 10 years, this dog would work for 10 years. 100%, provided she stays healthy. These dogs are extremely athletic and agile. She's super healthy, but typically, you know, at least 5 to 6 years. Sometimes when they hit about 9, some of the labs get, you know, hip issues and stuff like that. But this dog's 10-8. She's ready to go.
I've been wanting to introduce her for a while, but she's always been a little too high strung.
Yeah. I've been putting it off. Yeah, yeah.
You didn't give her any coffee today, right?
No.
Excuse me. Oh,
Be
thank
complex.
you. Is that a Dania Beach dog or is that a
Yes.
Broward County?
Yes.
Can we put on a Dania Beach leash or something like that? Give us some branding?
Yeah,
I think it'll be
absolutely.
cute.
Yeah, we'll get her something stylish.
There we go.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, I don't want to
gave
do
her a
it, but
pink
y'all
ball,
got it
you know?
down there. I don't know. I don't want to know what your house looks like inside.
Yes, absolutely. And she spends a lot of time in it.
What's her name?
Aka.
Aka.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Come here.
Thank you, Detective. Thank you, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Captain Marks?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I just wanted to say this publicly because I know that we've been having some challenges in some of our neighborhoods, but I just wanted the public to know that I am supporting stopping things that, gatherings that are happening without permits. There is an uptick in some of the crime that are around certain areas, and it's becoming a major concern and a safety concern for all of the great things that we're doing in our city to have it, and crimes are being committed in the broad daylight. And so you have my support
Thank you.
to enforce the law, to do what you need to do. And I don't know the solution. I challenge everyone up here to come up with some type of ideas of how we can combat this or what we can implement as a team. Because we really want this to be a city where our children can go outside and play and be safe doing so, and for our seniors to be able to go to facilities and have programming and be able to safely do so. And with all the sports and stuff we have coming up, I just know that we need to get a handle on this. And so I do have expectations from your team to help us, you know, make this city the great city of us investing millions of dollars into our neighborhoods to make sure that we're able to enjoy those things in a safe manner.
Absolutely, 100%. I spoke with the city manager briefly about it. I know we have a meeting coming up, and I have full faith in all of us to get it done.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. All right, Chief Pelliser, you're up.
Sounds good. Unfortunately, fire department doesn't have a dog, so I can't compete with ACA.
No Dalmatian?
No Dalmatian. That's a long, long time ago, before I even was hired. So during the month of February 1st to the 28th, our units responded to 648 total emergencies. 599 of those were medical related, 49 were fire related. Now, the one thing I did look at was like, what are our busiest sections in the city? And this is the first time I look at it all the time, but this is the first time I actually wrote it down. And the southeast section last month was the busiest. That's the section east of US 1 between Dania Beach Boulevard and Sheridan Street. And then out west, the areas between Griffin Road, going north to 42nd Street, and between Ravenswood and 30th Avenue. So those are by far our busiest areas, just for your information. Our fire inspectors completed 208 inspections over the month. They did 13 new businesses and reviewed 77 plans. So they're at 24.5% complete for the year. So we're well on task, and we'll complete 100% before the end of our fiscal year is over. We were successful in completing the biannual fire drill. Now, the other day at City Hall, I probably alarmed everybody because the alarm went off, and then all of a sudden, people started scurrying. So Linda had a lot to do with this, setting this all up. So we do biannual fire drills for all our city buildings to make sure that our staff is properly trained and they know what to do in case of an emergency, when and how to get out of the building safely and muster in a safe area. So it's good for the fire department because sometimes we have new people that come that are here for the day, so we get to train them on the different alarm systems. It's good for our staff and the city staff so that everybody stays on task. We've been doing some what's called ESO training, and that's our fire department has to write reports, and we do it through a program called ESO. So what we do is we write every rescue report, every fire report, and everywhere where I gather all the data for comes through ESO. So whenever we run a medical call, we run through ESO reporting. Whenever we run the fire call, we run through ESO reporting. Whenever I run any data, I gather it from ESO reporting. But we have to stay on top of this. So we train, and we recently had every single battalion chief in our in the BSO service come into our Fire Station 17 and be trained on it. I was trained on it just to keep up current. We have to keep current with these new systems because software is something you have to keep up with. We've also been getting ready for the new rescue truck. We had to make sure that all the purchases and everything is ready for the rescue truck, making sure that we have a new monitor for it, making sure that we have all the lights and all the gadgets that go along with the rescue truck, not just a rescue truck. So my report's a little short tonight, but with that, do you have any questions?
Yes, Vice Mayor Llewellyn? Oh, sorry, there you go.
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to thank you personally for going to visit one of our civic associations this month. I know everybody was very pleased with the presentation and learned a lot, and I encourage you and others to attend some of these civic association meetings because it definitely it's bringing it to the community and letting them ask questions more on a one-on-one basis, and it definitely is helpful to the community. So everybody was very, very pleased with it. So thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed the Griffin Civic Association meeting, and then I also followed up last Thursday with the C.W. Thomas seniors, and they had the same presentation. They also enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It's great when you get out to the community. It really is. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much, Chief. Thank you, Vice Mayor. We're going to go back to one more citizen comment that we missed. Mr. Buckner, can you please step up, state your name and address?
William Buckner, 4601 Southwest 30th Way, Mayor, third generation of our great city. Quick two topics. Trying to put the rumors to rest tonight. Want to know exactly the boat ramp, Griffin Boaters Park. What's the situation? Can you enlighten me on that, or?
I don't know.
What that is, that's the boat ramp on 30th Avenue. Apparently on December, on the boat parade, I think it's the 12th, I don't remember the exact date, that I guess 5 cars went in at one day. So the question is, what can we talk to tell the boaters in the community? When do we expect to have our ramp fixed? That's one of the best things that we have in the city of Dania Beach. Why? Because it's free. And as a boater, as you know, free is nice. So what can we do to help our boaters on land, and business owners like me in Dania Beach to get this boat ramp up and going?
Mayor, I can give an update because we're in the process of working on it. So, Mr. Buckner, we actually have our Deputy Director of Public Services that can give us an update on the boat ramp, please.
Thank you so much, Manager. This is Dinchero Zaidan. I'm the Deputy Public Service Director and City Engineer. We started designing the boat ramp. What happened is that the pitch is not the way that it should be. So we are going to design it, and then we're going to apply for a permit for Broward County and also state. And this process takes about 7-8 months. After that, we are going to advertise this project for a contractor to bid. And after the bidding process is completed, I'm going to bring you the contract for City Commission approval after it's completed pre-com meetings and construction, and we estimate about 18 months.
Wow.
It is a long process. Because as you may know that if you're doing anything new, that you have to comply with the new code. That's the one that Broward County and also state is going to require. So
Have we applied for the permit yet?
we haven't. We started the design. We select the contractor. We select the design company, Craven Thompson and Associates, and they started doing their design. And we are going to have the cost estimate and everything soon.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes, thank you. This ramp has been a situation for a while, but, you know, even though it's designed wrong, it's been a usable ramp for years. And I've been hearing this for a long, long time, and there's been some other work. I feel like as if while the design is coming and while this is being done, the ramp is still, I believe, usable. I think if we just put some effort into it to go out there and at low tide and take the algae out of there and put some warning ramp signs out there, you know, for that if they're not already out there, I think the ramp under caution, if we clean it at low tide and get it where it's not slick where people go in and back there, I think smart boaters would be able to get in there and use the ramp at least somewhat while waiting, because 18 months is an awful long time to wait for them to use that ramp. I still think it's viable to use it under certain conditions. I think we should look into it a little bit harder with that.
Commissioner, one second. I want to make sure that wherever we can get to yes, that is not just legal, but safely, and to put, we don't want to put our city in a litigious or a liable situation. So what I will do, I will circle back with our city engineer and our city attorney and personally go out there and look whether signage is enough to be able for people to go at their own risk and use the ramp.
I understand all that.
Whatever we could do to make it
But
happen.
how long's that ramp been there? A long time. 20 years. 20 years, and it's been usable up until I feel a little bit of lack of maintenance on the ramp. I had brought that up a long time ago. I'd been down to see the ramp myself. I've used the ramp myself, and I know that the ramp is still usable if we can maintain it and put it into a path of constant maintenance until the new things gets done. I feel like it can't be any more steeper than the one at IT Parker, because IT Parker is really steep. So, I mean, I just think if we could take and get down there and look at it a little bit harder and put some work into it, so just completely neglect and do anything to it, I still think we can make it usable while we're waiting.
I don't disagree with you that for a very long time, there was neglect in this city, and there were things done that were done right. You know, whether it's, you know, and Eric could tell you whether it was our pool that we had to shut it down because the electrical was out of compliance. Whether it was 90% of our citywide speed humps that were out of compliance.
I understand.
The ramp as well. So just because certain things are there, we just want to mitigate. It's balancing the usability and the safety. So we will circle back, and whatever we can do to make it happen as safely as possible, that's what we will do.
Thank you, Manager. Stop it.
I don't think, I used to belong on the Dania Beach Marine Advisory Board a long time ago, and I gave up because it just feels like it's spinning wheels. Do you guys know why the ramp failed? I've said this on next door neighbor, do you know why the boat ramp failed? It wasn't poor designing. It was due to the development next door to the boat ramp many years ago. If you remember when they put, I think it's Shady Oaks that went up, there was no water in front of those townhomes there. They went in with a steel track hoe down the ramp and dredged. And ever since a steel track hoe went down that ramp over the years, it took the grit off the ramp. Now, it just got wore out over time. The ramp isn't bad. I use it frequently as myself, my neighbors, my business owners use it, and it's been getting worse, but I think definitely 18 months is a long time, and if we could do something, cut some new lines in the ground, put some wheel chocks out. Back in the days, I mean, I used to launch a boat with a manual shifter. So I think if we do some rubber chocks at the dock to help support the boaters, at least show some effort, I think maybe we put a committee together and try something and do something to at least until we get this situated.
Whatever we could do to mitigate the certain conditions, and thank you for the history. Clearly, none of us were, at least this administration wasn't here when that occurred, and I'm sorry that this occurred. And these are the things that we're preventing, so we don't find ourselves mitigating, but not for it not to happen. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna look at it and see, we like to think outside the box and put our thinking hats on, and maybe if you can get his contact, we can go together with a boater and see what we can make happen until we get to bring forward something that is safe and good, and then moving forward is maintained appropriately.
Absolutely, Manager. What happened also is that we started the design with 30%, 60%, 90% in permitting stage. So we will look into it in 30% to see if there is something that we can do quickly.
Right.
You know, and at least that we can definitely help.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Now, one last thing, my second topic was, Mayor, I posted on Facebook this weekend.
Please speak in the microphone, sir.
This weekend, I happened to go to Dania Beach by boat. Do we have city docks anymore? Local docks for day docks like we used to back in the days? Why I asked this, because I was a little deterred. There's a couple project boats, derelict boats at the end, and there's nowhere to go enjoy Flanagan's and go have lunch by boat. Second thing is, if you look on my Facebook, what's very disturbing is that we have now, what do you want to call it, derelict boats on Whiskey Creek. I don't know if you're seeing that, and that's pretty bad. And you'll see in my video that there's kids, we all swam, we all been on Whiskey Creek growing up. There's kids swimming back there, and they're not, you can't tell me that these boats are not dumping their holding tanks there. They live on the boats, they're crapping in the water, and kids are playing there. I think this is something that we need to jump on right away, not wait. I think they need to be escorted out of there. It's bad. It's not good for our city, it's not good for our kids.
Yes, sir, Mr. Buckner. When I was first elected, you could ask our city attorney. That was the first thing that I approached her on, was these derelict boats in Whiskey Creek, because we raised the price for the marina and for people to dock there. And right in front of Quarterdeck, there is supposed to be public space for boat docking. So this is the issue. And I'll try and be as brief as possible, but there's a lot of red tape involved, but we're tackling it, and Hollywood's actually spearheading it right now. So before, you'd have to go through the county, and then the state, you have to go to the Army Corps of Engineers, you have to go to the Navy to get these boats out. And it was dependent on if they were occupied or if they were vacant. Now, what we did, and the county approached this, so the county's going to have a certain percentage of waterways, right? There's 6 coastal cities in the county, so there's 100% of waterways to be divided up for mooring areas for each city. So Hollywood, I think, is right now, they're trying to get 35, 40% of the mooring areas. So once you get a mooring area in your city, you have rules within that mooring area where people can go and moor their boats, but it has to be with the regulations of the city. Anywhere outside of that mooring area that's been in the water for more than 45 days can be taken out of the water. So there's actually an article on this in the newspaper last week, and our city attorney has been working diligently on this since last year, since November. And Hollywood, like I said, is on the forefront. We are right behind them. We're ahead of Fort Lauderdale when it comes to this. So this is definitely an issue that we are aware of, and we are addressing it and trying to solve it as soon as possible.
Appreciate it. Like I said, I haven't been there in a while, but when I pulled up, I was just like, wow, this can't happen. This is a health issue now. So, but I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner. I appreciate it. Okay, now we can move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that we would like to remove from the consent agenda? Commissioner James?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The consent agenda has passed unanimously. We can move on. We have no bids and requests for proposals. Let's move on to public hearings. This is a public hearing. Everyone has a right to speak on this item. So let's start with item 9.1.
Would you like me to read the title?
Please.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach amending Chapter 2 entitled Administration, Article 3 entitled Supplemental Code Enforcement Procedures, Code Enforcement Citation Program at Section 2-58, Schedule of Code Enforcement Fines, Civil Penalties, to clarify the fee schedule, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading. It is a community development item. In short, this item, we had neglected to include some of the fines in the schedule, including, for example, for the Florida Building Code, and to clarify that certain specific items are irreparable, so there would be a fine for a first violation.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this matter? Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Salvino to pass the item. I have a second from Commissioner James. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 9.1 has been passed. Eve, could you please read item 9.2?
Yes, sir. An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 16 entitled Vacation Rentals, Section 16-2, entitled Vacation Rentals of the City Code of Ordinances, to require additional information be included on the mandatory posting of each vacation rental location, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading, a community development item.
Hi, Corinne.
Hi, good evening. This is second reading of this item. I'm available if you have questions. I can talk you through it as well if we need to do that.
Commissioner James,
No, I'm ready to make a motion.
please.
Oh, it's, you gotta
Oh,
ask
this
the
is a
question.
public hearing. Does anybody have anything to say on this item? All right,
I
Commissioner
make,
James.
I make a motion to pass 9.2.
Do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Item 9.2 is passed.
I'm sorry, Mayor,
Eve?
who seconded? Was Commissioner Salvino?
Commissioner Salvino.
Item number 3.
Item 9.3, please.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach approving the Townhomes Complex Site Plan and variance applications for property owner Dania Townhomes 4580 LLC, whose property is located at 4580 Southwest 33rd Avenue in the City of Dania Beach, providing for an effective date and conflicts. This is a community development item, and I need to swear in anyone who will be testifying into this item. So do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Is there anyone to speak in the public? Yes, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you so much. Additionally, are there any disclosures from the City Commission as to this application?
No.
Seeing none, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I am here to present this item. It's Dania Townhomes. As if previously stated, it's located at 4580 Southwest 33rd Avenue, and they're here before you for a site plan and a variance application. Let me just see what's going on. Let's not go into the next slide, please. It's not moving. I did. There you go. There you go. At the top. Okay, thank you. As you can see, the location of the property, it's out west in our city limits. The site plan request is the construction of 12 units for a multifamily townhome development located southwest 33rd Avenue. The property, it's located, the existing zoning, it's a multifamily 16 dwelling units per acre. The land use designation is a regular residential density. The site acreage is just above the acre. The existing use and the proposed use will be residential, and there are no violations on the property at the moment. This is the site plan, as you can see on your screens. It's basically 12 units in the middle of the property. The parking will be surrounding the development, and the traffic circulation will be around the building. These are some of the renderings of how the building will look like. All the townhomes will be unified in one building. And they are requesting, as well as the site plan, the variance of the length of the building. The Land Development Code requires no more than 150 feet in length of the building, but they're requesting 216 feet, 9 inches, to maximize the development on site. The applicant provided all information and justification enough to support their request, and staff is in support of this variance. The applicant also did a community outreach, sending out letters to all the communities surrounding properties, and we didn't receive any objections of the application. As well as the site plan itself went through DRC review two times, on July last year, October last year, and for final satisfaction comments in January of this year. Staff from BSO, Fire, Public Services, Landscaping Consultant, and City Planning and Zoning Division. Although they have some outstanding comments, they will be addressed prior to building permit issuance. And the DRC comments are as part of the conditions of the approval in the resolution and the staff report. As well as the budgetary impact of this project, they will be increasing or expanding our city tax roll, and they will be required to pay for impact fees on public art impact fee up to $250,000, as well as recreation and open space fees for $21,900. As well as they're supporting the strategic plan furthering the goals from the city, having a range of housing options, types and prices and points. They're also doing value to our neighbors and community, protection and enhancement of the property values, and short-term challenges and opportunities, expanding businesses investment in the city of Dania Beach. And we are recommending for City Commission to approve the resolution, as well as the site plan with the variance and the remaining comments to be addressed at the time of permit issuance. And the applicant is here if you would like to hear further presentation as well. And I'm here for any questions.
Sure. Actually, Vice Mayor Llewellyn, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Is that where the ALF is located right now? There's an assisted living facility there?
Correct. Well, it used to be an ALF, you're correct. Prior for them to acquire the property, it lasted until the contract was lapsed, and after that, the property has been vacant after since.
And the buildings are, the site plan that they've got here is, they're 2 stories?
3 stories.
3 stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in a mixed-use residential neighborhood, so there's,
It's residential.
I'm saying it's multifamilies?
Yes.
Yeah. It's mainly duplexes and triplexes?
Yes.
And a few single-family homes?
Correct.
Yeah. Commissioner James?
Yes, was there a community meeting that happened with the residents?
They sent out letters to all the community, but we didn't get responses either in favor or denial.
No, was there a community meeting?
Like if they held a community meeting?
Yeah, typically we ask the developers to hold a community meeting with the community.
We asked them to do a community outreach,
They sent letters?
which they sent out letters.
They send out letters all the time, but we still have people do, Eleanor knows what I'm talking about. She's coming.
So we have asked the applicant to provide public outreach, not specifically a meeting, and they handled it through letters. We don't tell them how to do the public outreach.
I've been here when we've asked the developers to go have meetings with the community. I mean, isn't it required for them to do the outreach or to give notice a certain amount
Yeah,
of
the
feet? So
notice and
that's-
outreach,
Yeah,
correct.
that's standard across the board, right? But don't we always go a step further and ask that we have the community input?
If we get letters of, conflict back, we ask them to reach out and to those specific people, possibly hold a meeting to alleviate the concerns of the residents. But a meeting is not required per the code, no.
Are there any other buildings that's in their area that are 3 stories? or is this the first one in that area? Because I'm familiar with where this is, and it's
I'd have to look.
very much so one-story residential, just a few duplexes or triplexes, but for the most part, I'm just a little concerned that I don't see one resident here. So I'm concerned about the type of outreach that the developer has put into this.
Surrounding properties are also townhomes, so there are 2 stories. This would be the first to be 3 stories. And you're right, it's a mixed residential type of buildings.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, part of the area is townhomes. So when you, the area east of there is more townhomes, but when you are looking, and on that side of 33rd, there are some multifamily units, but on the west side of the road, it's all single family. And there are, I don't know of any buildings there that are more than 1 story, unless you're gonna go back further, which is where there's more townhomes. And I know that neighborhood tends to be very vocal, which is why I'm a little surprised as well that there's nobody that's objected and nobody's said anything, and we haven't gotten any, I mean, I know a lot of people in that neighborhood and not one person, I just sent a note and asked if anybody knew anything about it. They didn't know anything about it. So, I mean, they will, and you're right, they do come out. I'm a little concerned that there wasn't any objection from anybody. I mean, I can, right down the street from there, I know at least 3 people who always say something, yay or nay, whichever it is. And I haven't heard from any of them. That's very odd to me. And that's a little concerning. And I'm not saying that you didn't send something out. I'm just saying that I'm wondering if they got it or if there was some other type of delay or something, because it's just odd. I know the neighborhood. They're not gonna sit back and not say anything. They would at a minimum say, I really like it. You know what I mean? So that's my concern.
Would you like to speak?
Good afternoon, Gustavo Volado, 346 Conservation Drive, Weston, Florida, 33327. Thank you to receive us and our project. First of all, we complying with all the requirements about the communication with the neighborhoods. Second, we respect the code. The maximum height is 3 stories. We trying to maximize and make the best product here. In fact, one of my clients, the developer of the project, is a Dania Beach resident too. We are making his house here too. And we put the sign for the last over 2 weeks on the front of the property. If you check the scale of the project, you can see first the impact of the wall building is don't have the composition to affect, because this 3rd floor is going to the center of the building, making a big terrace to the front. If you can show the renderings, the design is not like a tower. And again, we are complying with all the requirements and the condition on the zoning district.
What is the specific variance that's being asked for?
They're trying to add like 120 more feet.
It's for the length. The
Yeah.
code say when you make townhomes, the blocks is 150 feet, but up to maximize the place, we put in the 2 more units, and it's 216. It's a little more bigger because the code said you need a separation, but all the entrances are around the building. Usually that's the problem when you have accesses in between of the building. This is all perimeter access to the units.
Could you still build the project without the variance, just it'd be on a smaller scale?
No in height.
I'm sorry?
No in height.
Not in height.
No, in height, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
maybe in units. Maybe I need to reduce the units, but the models are the 3 stories.
Okay, but it could still be done. It just wouldn't be the same height.
Yes, if I,
It would be the same. I'm
Yeah.
not understanding. Okay, maybe
It's
I'm
the length,
misunderstanding.
not the height that is the
Okay.
variance.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Sorry, it was the length of the entire structure, not the height that's the issue.
Exactly.
The variance
Okay.
is for the length, so you could only go up to 155 feet in length. He's going to 225.
So it could still be the 3-story building, but just wouldn't be as many units because it wouldn't be as long if there was no variance. Okay.
Correct.
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Davis?
Yes, thank you. I've just, as we've been sitting here, received text messages from the people in this community, and they are saying that they have not received the notices, and they do have an issue with it. So I am at the point right now where I would want them to have a community meeting to make sure their voices are heard. Both Commissioner James and Vice Mayor Llewellyn know that this community is very vocal. They do not have their voices heard at this time, so at this time, I would not be willing to move forward until they've had the opportunity to weigh in on this, because I know I'm just receiving, messages right now. So, that would be my recommendation, is to go back to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Salvino?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I know that I heard them say that they had a sign up there since the beginning of the design. So the sign was very, very obvious up there, and the neighbors had to see it. I'm not saying that they knew about the meeting tonight or anything like that. I don't know, because if they didn't receive the letter, that would be telling them what's going on, that maybe they would have showed up tonight if they'd have known that. The thing is that here we go again, because he could still build it 3 stories high. He's going to build it 3 stories high, so it's really not going to change the issue other than the variance. The variance is only going to allow it to be a little bit wider. So, I mean, he's still cutting down to still build the 3 stories, and he's asking for a variance. He's been approved by city staff, and even if the residents come out and they wanted him to change it, he probably would change it to build a building, but it's still going to, again, we're back into the rules and regulations that are designed by the city staff, by the city ordinances, that he can build it 3 stories. So I don't have a problem with having the residents come in and do that again, but it's just that we're back in the same story again, that when we're up against the wall as decision makers that we were elected to do, and we can't vote against it. All we can do is not give them the variance. So you understand where I'm coming from on this. So I think if you want, is there 2 readings on this? No. Just one? Only 1 reading on this? Okay. So I was going to say, if there was a second reading, we could have approved it and then gone through that and listened to it. But if not, because if we reject this now, he's got to wait how long to do it? A year, right?
If you deny the project.
So is there any way we can make a change on it that would postpone it to where if
You
the
can
commission
continue the
obviously?
item.
Correct.
You
Huh?
can continue the item to the next meeting, or let's say the April meeting, to have the time for him to meet with the neighbors.
We would still have to re-advertise the meeting, but we can continue it to a date certain, giving him opportunity to have
Yeah.
the public meeting if
Yeah,
that's the
because if he
request.
goes to the vote right now, you see which way it's going to go, and then that's not going to be well. But he'd have to come back
Right,
with it,
it'll
and then
be
we'd have to
April.
reduce the variance and go to do what he wants to do. So I'd rather see it continue, and then maybe work it out a little bit more.
It would be April 28th or
I think it's the 25th of April is our April
25th,
meeting,
yes.
and that way you have the time to hold the advertised and community meeting. So if there was a motion to do that?
You know, I think that just to be sure of what, to be sure of that, I think instead of mailing them out, you need to maybe take and hand deliver and put them on the door or something like that, or knock on the door and make sure at least 10 or 20 people that are directly affected by this get that letter, and and then you can mail it around to the circle. That way, there's no problems or complaints. I just think that it'd be, save his project without making him wait a year, and then he can decide at that point if it doesn't work and the commission doesn't want to do that, he can drop the variance and still build his 3 stories and move on. At least they don't have to put it off for a year. Okay.
Okay, Commissioner.
Commissioner James?
Yes, I'll make that motion to do the continuance.
Do I have a second?
And to be clear, that's still April 25th.
I have a second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion's passed for continuance on item 9.3.
Would you like me to read number 4?
Please.
a resolution of the City Commission pursuant to Section 163.358 Florida statutes. The City Commission makes findings of fact and modifies and adopts the updated and amended community redevelopment plan for the CRA of the City of Dania Beach, providing for conflicts and an effective date. This is a CRA item. In front of you is a one-page that it was on the top of the dais. We needed to do one substitution. It's page 16. The clarification language is highlighted in yellow. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. It's nothing too substantive. It just ensures that we're incorporated by reference into this document, the old CRA plan. And Mr. Chin is here, as well as the consultant who did the report. It is a public hearing item, so I don't know if you would like to hear a presentation, but it is open for the public.
We don't need, I think we're okay, Mr. Chen. Do I have a motion?
Public
Oh,
hearing.
sorry, this is a public hearing. Does anybody have anything to speak on this item?
I make a
No? Do I have
motion.
a motion? All right, I have a motion from Commissioner James. Second from Commissioner Salvino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Item 9.4 is passed. All right, let's move on. Item 10.1, discussion and possible action. We have resolution number 2023-030. Eve, if you could please read it.
Absolutely. It's a resolution of the City Commission authorizing the city manager to return a portion of the public art fee to developer for Dania Beach Holdings LLC, which fee exceeds the manager's discretion, providing for conflicts and an effective date. This is a community development item.
Hello. Good evening. Eleanor Norina, Community Development Director. This is a public art installation on private property. This was actually the first developer to utilize our program. Celeste City Line, which is formerly known as the Tryon Project. It is on the corner of East Dania Beach Boulevard and Federal Highway. And so at time of permitting, actually this project was approved in 2020 by the City Commission. And at time of permitting, the developer has contributed money into the Public Art Fund. And the Public Art Program allows for the developer to choose to pay holistically into the Public Art Fund, which is 0.5% of the value of construction for that development. Or they can take that money and split it in half and put half of that into an escrow account with the intent of installing public art on their own private property. This developer took that option and was actually the first developer to do such. And they did it back in 2020, so that was prior to the establishment of the Public Art Board. However, we did have the public art guidelines in place, or actually as a draft form with the public art consultant, so we shared that with them through that process, and in fact, those are in place and the approved guidelines that we're using now, so they have used the same guidelines. This is the proposal that was received. It's an artist named Armando Guerra. He has work in Florida and New York City. And like I said, the developer contributed the max amount, which is $250,000 into the Public Art Fund, putting $125,000 towards the fund and $125,000 into the public art escrow with the intent of receiving that back when the art was installed and accepted by the city. This project is close to completion. In fact, they just received their TCO last week, so they should be occupying very shortly. And staff is recommending returning the escrow amount that was intended. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Commissioner Salvino?
You got Vice Mayor's button lit up. Oh, there you go. Yes, just to clarify that he has $250,000 into, he put $250,000 into the art and the arts fund. The art that he's putting in there is worth, I guess, $125,000. Is that why you're giving them back $125,000?
Yes, it's actually valued over $125,000, but that's what the program allows.
Okay.
Only half of what is contributed into the fund.
Okay, I was just making sure that, okay, and
Yes.
we know that art that he's put in there costs around that much money?
Yes, we did receive an appraisal
Okay.
as part of the
Thank you.
application.
That's what you asked, huh?
Okay. This is a public hearing. Does anybody have anything to say on this item?
Actually, this isn't.
Oh, no, this is a discussion. Sorry.
Make-
A motion from Commissioner James.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Salvino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we have item 10.2.
A resolution of the City Commission pursuant to Section 811-140 of the LDC, the applicant Clucking Hot Chicks requests approval of its mural located at 645 South Federal Highway, providing for conflicts and effective date. This is also a community development item.
All right, thank you. Eleanor Narina again. Just wait for the presentation. It's very brief, but if you have it up. Okay. So this is located at 645 South Federal Highway, which is the old Checkers, if you're familiar with that. They've reopened with the new business. I believe they just opened for business, and they're serving hot chicks. Chicken sandwiches, I believe, is their specialty. Yes. So I wish I could show you the image. Here we go. Nope. 10.2. This isn't the right presentation. The mural theme is connection through music, and art. Here we go. We'll get a nice picture of it. It is a beautiful piece, very colorful. The applicant did demonstrate it meets all the criteria of a mural, as you can see, very vibrant. They meet all the criteria, like I said. This did go before the Public Art Board in February, and this was approved by them. And also, staff is recommending approval of the mural. If you have any questions, I'm here for that as well.
Commissioner Salvino?
I make a motion, we pass this item. I was there for their, the ribbon cutting, and I'll tell you, I think it stands out well. I think it's a nice mural that if all of our murals came out something like that, I think it's a showpiece, actually. I mean, it's really nice, and very happy to have that there from what was there before. So I know anybody else that wants to speak, that's fine, but if not, I'm ready to pass the item because I think it's a really, really bonus for us to have that.
Thank you, Commissioner Salvino. Vice Mayor?
I was just going to say all the commentary that I've heard about it is that they love it. The residents love it. They think it's a fabulous mural, and they wish that we had more of them in the city. So.
All right, great. Vice Mayor, Commissioner Davis?
Yes, I was at the grand opening as well. Mace is over there, and we had a great, it's great for the community. I actually went earlier, and they were sold out, and it is fresh chicken, so it is hot chicken. They were sold out, and yes. It was, but because it is fresh and never frozen, and that is something that we need in our city. So, and I'm on the art board. When the art board passed it, it glows in the dark. So I encourage you to go by and see it at nighttime. The guitar lights up. It's really a bright, exciting piece for our city. It goes with our logo is bright and exciting. We're going to a bright, exciting future. So I'm just excited to bring something new and innovative to our city. So thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Salvino?
Just real quick, I think I saw on here that there were supposed to be free samples out here, but I don't see. I'm messing. Thank you. I make a motion to pass this item, Mayor.
All right, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I just want to make one comment. They were able to take advantage of the lower mural application rate that we lowered to $100. So if anybody listening out there is interested in putting up a mural, it's only $100.
Only $100.
All right, thank you.
We'll come out and review it for you. All right, let's move into commissioner comments, and we will start with Commissioner Joyce Davis.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I'm going to try to be brief on these. I can't remember all the things I go to, but I did go to a very interesting conference in Orlando for the FBC Leo conference, and we just really, I think it's so important that we take advantage of many professional development opportunities as we can. We did get a lot of information on new grants and affordable housing, and a lot of great speakers who were able to give me some new zingers that I'm able to use in my comments. After that, I flew in to go to the doctor and go to see the PEA luncheon. What I do want to bring out, I'm not going to steal the mayor's thunder, but he did an absolutely spectacular job presenting Dania Beach's history to the Port Everglades Association. I know when the manager spoke, we had 2 tables there. I just really want to try to implore us to show up a little bit more if we can for our people. I know we're all busy and we all have different things, but it was true truly, truly, truly spectacular. And I just wish that we would, you know, have a little bit more support. But he did put a lot of respect on our name at that luncheon. So thank you, Mayor, for doing that. We do have a lot of beach improvements. You guys know I go to the beach every day, so we got the Lucky Fish signage up, we've got the park going, we got the pier going, we have the Army Corps of Engineers going, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of tensions that are rising between the fishermen and the anglers, but I just want to say that I'm so proud of all of our staff, from Candido to everybody who works out there. I know all of public services goes out there, and just thank you for keeping tensions down, because we have to, our beach is closed on a regular basis on the weekends just due to overcrowding, and with this additional construction, we have more parking spaces that are just blocked off. So just kudos to the team for everything, because I know at the end of the day, our Toodley Adler Park is going to be amazing, Lucky Fish is going to be amazing, the pier is going to be amazing, our dunes are going to be amazing, and our beach is going to be the most amazing ever. So I'm so glad that we have this team in place to be there while we get through to the end of this process. So thank you to everybody with that. Do want to make a reminder that Earth Day 2023 is going to be on April 20th this year. We've already started the process with getting everything together. This time we're going to be partnering with the Broward Art Guild to do a art pier walk. We're going to have a lot of different of our community partners involved, so hopefully we'll all be able to join together for another spectacular Earth Day celebration on the 20th this year, in order to allow our schools to be bussed in to participate, as opposed to the 22nd. And last but not least, I attended the Prestige Club with, I was going to say Vice Mayor, but Commissioner Salvino today, and I want to thank this commission for putting funds and approving funds together so that we could really make a difference in our community. A lot of our residents came in and they gave ties, and we were able to give those ties to the kids, and there's going to be another one tomorrow. So if you didn't make it today, hopefully you can make it tomorrow. These are the kinds of things that deposit forever memories in these children's minds. And so I just thank this commission for having the foresight to invest in the future of Dania Beach. And with that, I will shut my comments down. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner James?
Yes, only one thing for clarification. The community meeting that we asked the city to have with the Parks and Recreation, it was under my understanding that we were going to have it at C.W. Thomas Park like we had the other things with BNA, and it just wasn't clear to city administration. So I would like it to be there in the community, to hear directly from the community members, and I wanted to see if there was any issue with that. No? Any issue with it? You, Commissioner Davis?
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
I was, one of the things I was going to ask for tonight was an update, because I know that there has been some discussion amongst city staff and city manager regarding C.W. Thomas Park and looking at the design. And I wanted to, aside from having the meeting, I'd kind of like to hear what's going on with that as far as status of those discussions. I think it's relevant to this.
That's fine, but I just wanted to make sure we had the consensus to have it at C.W. Thomas Park, that community meeting. I have the consensus, city manager.
Do we have a consensus?
Yes, Commissioner Davis and yourself, Mayor.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Yes, so we have our Parks Director here. I know that we've met. I know that he's met with some of you. Again, we're looking at some dates. I know that the first week of April, we don't have a commission meeting. It's after Easter, so we're looking at that week.
The second week of April.
The second week of April. I know that during the manager's report, we're going to have Frank do a presentation about 3 grants that we're working with Josh Gabaton. But in the meantime, you just want to give an update on some of the meetings that you had?
Yes, we had a few meetings. We met with Mayor Ryan. I know our manager, you met with Commissioner James. And I wanted to make, after the outcome of all of that, I was going to bring this back to the community, C.W. Thomas Park, and it will be on the second week of April. We'll have a community meeting. We'll start posting it now that we have the consensus to move forward. And that second week, either the 12th or the 13th, I'll get with your city manager, we'll post that, and we'll have a community meeting, and we will be presenting what we presented to you guys, I'm assuming.
That is correct. We'll be
Yes.
presenting, unless there's been, any minor amendments or any recommendations.
I know when Mayor Ryan met with us and he met with BNA, we met through Zoom, and we talked about a track, which we couldn't fit a track in that area, but we will actually add workout stations around a walking trail that will actually go around the entire campus of C.W. Thomas. So we will be adding that, and we will present that to the community, on the 12th or the 13th of April.
Okay, all set.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner James.
Yes, also, I've been speaking with the city manager on other options other than just presenting that to the community and saying, here, this is what we really could afford to do with the monies because it came back over budget. So this is just an FYI, but I wanted to seek alternative options to still try and make this project happen, which I have been speaking with the city manager on. So I don't want this commission to just lose hope on, in my words, settling for the option that was given to us before we definitely try everything possible to make this happen the way that we told the community it was going to happen. So I have other meetings set up, and I know that we are also reaching out to legislators. So I know that this community meeting is going to happen on the 12th or the 13th of April, but I don't want it to be the end-all, be-all for everything, because we are taking other things in consideration, even the Boise Waiters, land that we spoke about, amongst other possibilities that will happen. And so I'm not giving up on this project because it came in over budget, and I definitely don't want us to not deliver on the facility that we said we were going to give the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner James. Commissioner Davis, you said you had something to add?
Just one more thing, sorry, I get in my events, but the city manager and I had an amazing meeting with the Dan Marino Foundation. They are partnering with Dania Point for their Family Sundays, and they are seeking to extend their partnership with us. I'm going to be meeting with Candido Sosa Cruz and doing a tour, but what they're asking for is permission to use our logo to make it an official partnership for the Family Sundays, and I'm seeking consensus from you all to move forward with that.
Let me add to that, Commissioner Davis, because it was a fantastic meeting. It was for the Family Fun Day at Dania Point to bring awareness to autism.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get that on the record.
Absolutely, yeah. That is what the foundation is for. It's the Autism Awareness Foundation. That is his main thing. So, we want to be inclusive. We want to be an inclusive city, and so partnering with them helps us to bring more awareness to autism and the fact that we are inclusive. And so just seeking permission to use the logo and move forward with discussions with the partnership.
Commissioner Davis, through the mayor, I know that it would be a good opportunity, Mayor, as a Dolphin fan, like you and like this commission. I know that when you were at Olson, you gave a proclamation.
Yeah,
to
for
one of
O.J.
the-
McDuffie.
To O.J. McDuffie. This might be a good opportunity, you and a commission, to give a proclamation to Dan Marino if he's present. Just a thought, because I know that he's been doing a tremendous job with this organization to bring awareness to autism.
Thank you. Thank you, Manager. I think that's a great idea. We've been involved with the Dan Marino organization previously, my family, personally, my business, yeah. So we're very aware of it, and the fact that the city wants to get involved makes it even better. So we have a consensus on that? All right, we have a consensus on that. Okay. Commissioner Salvino.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, today was a really good day. Again, just reiterating what Commissioner Davis had said, without the support of this commission, this program couldn't have gone on with the etiquette program for the Prestige Club. I requested from them a 3-minute video, and they're going to have it hopefully by the next meeting. If I can present it, do a little presentation to begin if they have it, just to show the commission and the public how big it is. We had 159 kids there today at Tropical Acres. Just to tell you, the public as it is now, that we had them transported from Dania Elementary. There was 159 kids there. There was at least 25 volunteers. We had live music for them and taught them how to, tie a ties, pull a chair out for a lady, do a little dancing, set the table. You'll see all that in the video that's coming up. And but it's really impressive. Some of these kids have never been into a restaurant before. It's exciting to watch. They got out of school for the day, the afternoon, so they had a really good day. There was a lot of energy in there, and I was very happy to be part of it. And again, I want to thank the commission for that. I have a question to ask you, I guess, as the city manager and the staff and the commission. We talked about this many years ago, but I don't know if we could ever think about maybe putting together a training program here and just somehow or another form something that we can train people to get jobs. There's so many jobs out there right now, and I don't know if people are afraid to get jobs or they're because they don't have any talent or whatever. So I don't really know how we can do this, but I would really love to see a program that we could do here with that. I mean, it's just a thought process in my mind that we could maybe offer these people some kind of form of training, whether it's retail or something simple, maybe take them to certain places and do certain things. But we can work on that. It's just something I wanted to bring out. The employee appreciation, I'm going to support that again this year and ask the city to put up with that coming up. I know it's only a few months away from now, but our first annual Employee Appreciation Day went over with a great success. I thought the employees that came out really enjoyed themselves, and I really know the ones that didn't come out probably sorry they didn't after they found out how well it went off. So I am in support of asking the city manager and the city commission that we can move forward with the preparation and plans to do the second annual Employee Appreciation Picnic. And as far as the C.W. Thomas Park, nothing against what Commissioner James wants. It's just that I know that what she wants to get and so on is going. I just can't see this. I mean, I don't know if we can form a way to, get what we get going, because it seems like we're going to be putting this off for another year. It's just something I hope that this meeting that we have there is productive enough that we can do something quickly, because if not, I would ask the city manager and the commission, if we're going to put this off, can we move forward with one of the other two parks in the meantime so we can keep moving forward until we can get something happening instead of us putting off everything. I just want us to get out there and get one park moving somewhere. I'm not against what she's trying to do. I just don't want to be procrastinating on certain parks. That's all. Just a thought for that. Bring that up when she goes to. You have the thing at the C.W. Thomas in your gathering, and that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Salvino. Commissioner James, you had some more comments?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that we've tried to do trainings, and not saying that this time it won't be successful, but I know that we've tried to do trainings a few times before. We've had the OIC come out and conduct a free training for the entire community, and not a single person showed up. I had over 150 shares on my Facebook page, so it wasn't that people did not know about it. They did not show up. We did an additional one, I think, that I said maybe we should meet people where they are at the different community centers, and I think that it was it wasn't well attended. So there are organizations that offer that. The OIC of Broward County, they are dedicated to workforce training and providing that, and I don't know if they will be willing to come back out, because they had their entire staff here and not a single heartbeat showed up from our community, and it was very heartbreaking for me and disappointing. So I just want to give that historical information, however we're choosing to move forward, if we're going to do it again or not.
Thank you, Commissioner James. Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Yes, so actually to piggyback on that, we also have our grant program, and I know Eric Brown was at South Broward High School just this week and handed out a number of flyers on those, and I think got some buzz on that as well. So there was some interest with some of the kids that are in school that were also looking for some training and some jobs. There are a number of programs that are out there for training, including our CRA does the program with the university by phone, everybody was, it's not necessarily job training, but it's a lot of educational information related to like entrepreneurship and things like that, that are definitely there, but it's just a matter of what people want to do with it. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where people just aren't jumping on these things right now. It's just unfortunate. I did want to, again, make a comment about what a wonderful, wonderful memorial service there was for Rose Lozana this weekend. It was very well attended, and it was nice to see people come out from the community, everybody donating food, donating time, donating just whatever they could just to be part of remembering her and celebrating her life. So, and Jessica gave a wonderful speech, and everybody made comments about how we need to hear her speaking more often, so, because she did such a great job. My only other comments, I do want to make a comment about the C.W. Thomas situation. It's not that this is a little over budget. This is $12 million over budget. And there are other things that we need to be considering, and my understanding is that there is some discussion about a number of different ways that we can do some things. The biggest issue is the second floor. And if there is perhaps a way to do, because this is basically for an indoor walking area. It's not even really a track because it's not like a legal track. That's going to be done in another location. So if there's a way that maybe we could expand the footprint of the building itself to have an indoor track, whether it's legal or not, around the actual area inside. That might also be something that could be done that would be less expensive, as well as I know that there is discussion about the outdoor walking path with equipment, exercise equipment and so forth that could be used as well. Those are definitely viable options that would not cost us another $12 million so that people could walk under cover. I just think it's something that we really need to consider, because the problem is even going forward with another park, trying to keep it within budget, my concern is then you're going to cut from the other parks and not give the same deference. So we need to make sure we're not going to just have one park that we're going to spend $30 million on, and we're not going to spend $30 million on 3 separate parks. That's excessive. It's very excessive, and it's not what we budgeted for. And I do have a concern that we aren't moving forward with this sooner. People have been waiting for this. I'm being asked, how come we don't have a shovel in the ground yet? How come we haven't really started doing anything with it? There may be other things that we can do in the meantime to start moving this forward so that people see that we're actually taking action, because I keep hearing that we had the groundbreaking and nothing's happened. And now, we're talking about having this meeting in April, so now we're going to start getting into budget season. So what's going to happen next? So are we even going to have C.W. Thomas Park in line before next budget, before the next fiscal year? I don't know, because if this keeps getting delayed because we need to get more money because there's no compromise willing, then that's going to be a problem. So it's important that we get something moving on it and get the issue resolved, and not necessarily by spending $30 million on one park. That's all I have to say, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner James, you have some more comments to add?
Yes, because I definitely want to put this on the record that the second floor is certainly not based on just a walking path that is going to be covered, although it is important. That is an aging community. To not have our senior community walking outside in this type of heat. This is not the same type of heat I used to play outside with barefoot. I know that for a fact. So it was definitely to completely program the upstairs, because everyone isn't a basketball player. Everyone isn't a wrestler or volleyball player. I visited other park facilities with the city manager that had, dance classes and tech classes, and it was completely programmed upstairs. And so I just wanted to put on record that the second floor is not just for an indoor walking path for our seniors, because that's far from the truth. And if we're talking about compromise, I think we need to be very clear on the history of C.W. Thomas Park and the compromises that this community and this park has already made in the past. And so I want every facility to be an amazing facility. I grew up going to summer camp at Frost Park. But if we're going to speak about compromising that communities have had, this community has lived off of compromising, and also that second story is not solely for an indoor walking trail. It was supposed to completely have space upstairs to be programmed. We have a 70-90 wave that's coming that is 700 units on Bryan Road. We have a lot of different developments. We just built the second Saratoga. We have the other Saratoga. We have other developments that are coming. We have single-family homes that are waiting for the rack replenishment to be built. And so I want to make that clear. We want to build something, not for right now, something that can withstand 30 years, 40 years, 50 years from now. And we spend money on what we want to spend money on as a city. And I'm definitely asking to work together to produce what we told the community that we were going to produce, and not just continue to force things on this community that we have in the past. We've tried to force different things. We've tried to force bridges on this community. The community came out and spoke about the 70-90 wave. Not one person from that community wanted that 70-90 wave, and guess what? We didn't listen to them. When are we going to listen to the community? You think I don't have pressure on me about C.W. Thomas Park? That's literally my park. I was born and raised there. They call me all the time. I've just saw someone in Publix that talked to me about it. So I understand that the pressures that are there. I just want us to be very careful with what we are saying and how we are presenting things to this community, and not making it seem like this is just about a second story track. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner James. I'll bring it back to Commissioner Davis again.
So sorry, this hour has really gotten to me, and I just wanted to, this time change, but I forgot, and I want to put it back on the record that the Boys and Girls Club is interested in coming to Dania Beach. I have spoken with the co-CEOs, and we've had preliminary conversations with the manager and with the Parks and Rec Department. So I just want to put that on record that they're looking to come here. I want to continue the conversations. We did tour their facility in Deerfield Beach. There's a lot of things that can be improved, but at the same time, I think if you understand the reputation of the Boys and Girls Club and understand that a lot of people, a lot of companies invest and partner with the Boys and Girls Club, that is something that we should consider. And I'm just putting it out there as transparency so that to get consensus, to continue the conversations and see where they go. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. All right, I guess I'm up. So we'll start with, thank you, Commissioner Davis, for mentioning the Port Everglades Association. I wasn't even going to mention that. But yeah, lots happened the last 2 weeks. I was asked to do a presentation on the history and the origin of our port in light of Port Everglades unveiling their new port logo, which is a trident, last month. So it was very informative. I know that Commissioner Davis was there. Thank you for attending. And Chief of Staff Maxine Singh, I just wanted to say thank you, Maxine, for the help that you gave me with that presentation, especially on the PowerPoint. It was very helpful. And, I have everything saved, so if you guys want it, I could send it over to you, no problem. The Rose Lozana, her service on Saturday was put on by the community in helping out, Jessica and Katie. And I know that Rose would have loved to have been there, because at the reception after, because like you said, it was people that don't come out to anything, but everybody showed up, and it was nice. It kind of brought that little part of Dania together, and it's something I won't forget. So now to the business that I had with Boys State. Commander Anderson, thank you for attending tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. And I asked you guys for $700 out of my contingency fund to send a young man, a 16-year-old boy from Boise State. And so I got the approval. We moved forward. Commander Anderson approached Hollywood Hills, and they selected 3 individuals based off of a large criteria list that they had to go through. And the 3 boys that they presented to us that we had to interview to send one were very qualified, if you ask me. They were ranked 2nd, 4th in their class, and 32nd in their class. And they were all picked based off of certain skills and grades and extracurricular activity. It just so happens that they were all in the military academy at Hollywood Hills. So we interviewed all 3 of the boys, and we asked them questions like, what's civic service and why is the civic engagement important to you? What are your future plans with civic service? What does being a leader mean to you? You know, how do you aspire to help and positively influence others? And I asked them also, you know, what's government to you? And obviously, these boys are very interested. They're very involved. And it was hard to pick one. And I know that we could actually send all 3 out of the post, so I am asking to send, for an additional $1,400 out of my contingency fund, to send all 3 of these boys to Boise State. And I think it'll be definitely beneficial to their future, and there's no other better way to shape the youth, especially boys of this age, for this program with the American Legion. And it'll be through Post 209 with Commander Anderson, so I'm asking you guys for that additional $1,400 each. Yeah. So that's great. That's great. I hope they're watching the meeting tonight. So now all you boys can go. All right. Awesome. Awesome. And yeah, that's it with my comments. So we can move on now to appointments. Oh, yeah, sorry. Commander Anderson, yeah, please, would you like to speak? Yes. All right.
Evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney. As Mayor Ryan mentioned, he's a Boise Stater, so am I. I went in '71, he went from Chaminade, and I realize right now, leadership is very important, especially when it comes to our nation. I ain't gonna speak long, but yet still, a lot of you know I can be very long-winded, but yet still, I realize right now, Dana Beach being the oldest city in Broward County. And I know Mayor James from a little youngster. She's shown, as well as Joyce Davis and Vice Mayor, that we need a program to deal with some of the young men's within Dana Beach. My post is located right next to the Broward County Sheriff Department. Sheriff Tony speaks of a lot of things. I think we need to create a partnership and create a organization and create a program dealing with leadership. Because without Boise State, I wouldn't be here. As one thing about America, unfortunately, we have some issues in America. Sometimes look at me as being a criminal. Look at me as being lazy. I've been in the post office 39 years. I'm getting ready to retire soon. And maybe I'll join you all within the legislative department, because I realize right now we got to stand up. I'm finna close right now, but something very troubling me with our governor called Mr. DeSantis. He said, my ancestors have not made a contribution to America. And I have a difference with that. As Dana Beach be the oldest city within Broward County, let's speak the truth. Let's make sure we understand. Me, as a black man, I've been in endangered species for a long time. They told me I wouldn't get past 30 years, but I'm turning 69 this year. And I'm getting ready to retire, not from engagement in regards to what's right for America, because she haven't treated me well. We're gonna make sure she's gonna treat us well. My last breath of life and we keep fighting. But I know Mayor Ryan, he has a good heart. And I know he can help make things better because Dana Beach can lead the fight in regards to what's just and what's right. Because sometimes America is very divided. But I feel as though if we come together collectively, by inclusion, not banning what we had not contributed, but coming together, maybe we talk to the sheriff, what's his name? The sheriff of the Broward County. We can create something dealing with building up the black men's. Because when I was a teenager, it wasn't no programs there. Like Boys say, we developed men's. We can create some programs here in Broward County, and Dana Beach can lead the area to make sure we build up strong men's. Because Frederick Douglass says, it's easier to build black children than repair black men. Appreciate you all and hope we can come together. And looking forward to create some meeting with you, Mayor, and the Sheriff, Tony, and move forward because I'm a product of Dana Beach as well as Liberia. I ain't been here for a long time, but yet still I'm willing to work with you all, make things happen. Because too many people want to come over here from the west side, but I think we one city. Like you say, see it, live it, love it, let's be about it. Inclusion. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Commander Anderson. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication to Post 209. All right, now we can move on to appointments. Item 12.1, we have the Education Advisory Board. All right, let me put you on. Go ahead.
Heidi Romer.
Heidi Romer from Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
I believe the clerk's office already has the information. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. All right, now we can move on to the Charter Review Board. Is anybody ready?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead. We'll start with you, Commissioner Davis.
Meredith Mimi Donnelly.
All right, we have Mimi Donnelly for Commissioner Davis's appointment. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Louis Ramoli.
Louis Ramoli, all right, from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. Commissioner Davis? Commissioner James, I'm sorry.
Do we look the same?
No, hers was flashing.
Because this is like the 5th time.
No.
Not from you.
No.
From different people. No. Do you have any, Mayor?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead and I'll make a motion.
Archie Ryan. Archibald John Ryan III.
Okay, I was gonna say which one.
My father. Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the appointments.
Well, what about an alternate? Can we come with any alternates? I have an alternate, Bob Lozana. If I could get him on too.
I make a motion to approve.
All right. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Salvino. All right. All in favor? Aye. All right. All right, City Manager, you're up for our administrative reports.
Yes, if I can have our CFO, Frank DiPaolo, come up. He's going to discuss with you 3 opportunities for funding. You know, we're constantly pivoting, working with our public services team, working with Colin Donnelly, CD that I call him, the money man, in regards to opportunities. Because we don't ever want to settle when there's an opportunity to bring money to the city. And I don't have to tell you what has occurred here in the city for the past 4 years and the millions and millions of dollars that we've been able to seize and bring into the city. And before Frank takes the podium, we got news today that for the 3rd consecutive year, it took us 117 years and we didn't get it done, but this was a commitment that I made to all of you. So for the past 3 years, including this year, we have been the recipient of the budget award. So I wanted to thank Frank and Adam and the entire finance team and all the department directors and candidatos who now, our budget is not just a bunch of numbers, but is your strategic plan and it's a story. And those numbers are tied to what we're doing and what we are going to continue to accomplish. So with that said, I want to turn it over to you, Frank, so you can give the commission an update so we can get direction and consensus to be able to tap into those grants up in the federal government.
Thank you, Manager. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for the recognition. It's an honor to serve, and thank you for allowing us to put together a transformative budget book that we've been doing for the past three years. So I'm here tonight to talk to you briefly about legislative appropriations, and the deadline is March 16th for the city to submit its appropriations request to the federal government. The money man, Colin Donnelly, and I had a conversation with our federal lobbyist, Josh Gaviton, the other day to talk about it and talk about the potential projects that are out there. And we want to make sure that anything that we put forward has the consensus agreement of the elected officials so they understand exactly what it is that we're reaching out to Washington, D.C. for and what it's going to possibly bring back to the community here in Dania Beach. So the one that we started with, which is one that we've met with all of you individually and discussed last year, was a new Fire Administration Emergency Operations Center that's going to go behind Fire Station 1. This is something that is desperately needed in the city. It's going to serve as not only emergency operations center, but as a command center for public safety to enhance the rescue response, for training, for community meetings. There's going to be a meeting room in there. We want to house our critical IT infrastructure in there as well because it will be a hardened building and it's going to be elevated. So it serves a lot of purposes for the city, including the public safety aspects and also safety of our critical infrastructure. Another project that we discussed was, and that request is going to be $2.5 million. It's about a third of the budget, and that's what will get good points for scoring. They don't want to give us all the money. They want to have some buy-in locally. Another project that we discussed, which is of extreme merit, is Northwest 2nd Avenue. There's a drainage pipe that's the design is in progress now. It's in our CIP. Bless you. It's in our CIP. It's a $2 million drainage pipe. It runs alongside of C.W. Thomas Park, and right now the pipe is corroded and crumbling, and it's due to the saltwater intrusion from the groundwater. And this is a project that, alongside in tandem with our C.W. Thomas Park plan, it needs to be done, because if we're going to spend 20 or 30 or however many millions of dollars on that park, we can't have it flooding right in between the park and the elementary school. So that's about a $2 million project, requesting approximately a third, $750,000, if you all agree that we can do that. Another project that's come up is potentially asking for some additional funding towards the C.W. Thomas Park. As you know, that we received $3 million appropriation already for that facility, and we've been advised that we can submit for it, but the likelihood of us obtaining any funding is not that high because of the fact that we've already been awarded for that project. So they're going to want to see us put money towards additional things, additional ideas. They've already considered that. They've already awarded it. And you know, we can put anything on the wall and see if it sticks, but it's probably not going to if we do. So those are three ideas that we want to put before you and just get a consensus approval. I can tell you that the more things we ask for, I mean, we have a really good shot of getting one, possibly getting two, probably wouldn't get 3 awards. And if we do, they'll divvy up the same amount of money among the 3. So we likely wouldn't get everything we asked for, even if we got 3 awards. And Josh has committed to, you know, he's got all the contacts in D.C., he's the boots on the ground, and he is committed to fighting for the city and getting us every dollar that we ask for. So welcome your thoughts and questions.
Thank you, Frank. Commissioner James?
Yes, I have one question. Is the pipe that you're talking about on Northwest 2nd Street, is that in front of Collins? Because I know not too long ago we had some type of a leak. I don't know what the proper terminology for it is, but we kind of just did temporary paving on top of it. Is that a part of that pipe? And does it run east to west? How far along? Because it was one that was similar to the one that was right across the street from the police station sub-center.
Commissioner, the pipe runs the entire length of Northwest 2nd Street from the canal all the way to the tracks. So it does go in front of the school. As you know, that the play area of the school floods horribly, and we don't think it's draining properly. And a lot of the collapsing has been on the west end because that's closest to the canal. As the sea level water rises and we have more groundwater, we think that salient water is coming up into it and rotting the pipe. So we need to replace the whole thing.
Is that, but are you familiar with what part I'm talking about that not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, kind of overfilled or bust, or I don't know what it is, right there in front of Collins? Is that the same pipe? Because if not, we need to fix that one as well. I would like for that to be the same pipe, obviously, if we're going to spend money
Well,
on it.
if it's, the water pipe and obviously the water pipe and the sewer pipe are different. But nothing would have come out of this. What you'd have is a little depression in the ground, and then the water doesn't go anywhere, and then it's coming up to the surface.
Okay, well, I would like the city manager to address the other issue then that's on that same street where we kind of put a temporary paving on top of it, similar to the one we did on the north end of C.W. Thomas Park where, you know, right before the groundbreaking, it's a similar situation right in front of Collins, so that definitely needs to
Through
be
the mayor, Commissioner James, we'll provide you the full scope of work of this project. I know a lot of these things don't sound very sexy, infrastructure and paving streets and you know, I mean, and as a park person, I would love to be able to, you know, provide everything that all of you want for the city. But I think it's extremely important, this $2 million on this pipe, which is going to go underground, and it's where the structure is, in the area where the structure is going to be, that we take care of these things. Let's provide the commission the full scope of the project, and we'll also check the project that Commissioner James is discussing as well, too.
Certainly.
Yeah. We just want to tap into whatever federal dollars are there, just like what we did, Commissioner Davis and Mayor, when we went up to Tallahassee. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So the pipe, the Emergency Operations Center, as you know, we don't officially have one. We've been working on a makeshift one, you know, and we are Broward's, you know, oldest city, and we are growing in population. As you know, we're going to be bringing a dozen new firefighters and EMTs to be working in the city. So we believe that we have 3 viable projects. Every year, some projects score more than others. Last year, we were able to get an additional $3 million for CW. We were able to get almost $5 million in storm drainage. But we're going to give it all we got in regards to these 3 projects that we're putting forward. And just we wanted to get your support, as you did when we went to Tallahassee, to be able to put these projects together for Josh Gabaton, who's our federal lobbyist in D.C.
Commissioner Davis?
Just want to know in layman's terms, this pipe, will it mitigate the flooding in front of where Collins Elementary School is? Will that really, because that to me, every time I drive by that after rain is heartbreaking for me to see that. So I know there was a whole fight for Broward County schools and whose property it was on. I'm all for fixing our old pipes, but that's really, I really, really, really want to get that done.
I wanna make clear and put on the record that Dania Elementary, within the school, there's like a retaining, Collins, I'm sorry. There's a retaining pond within the school, and that's the responsibility of the school. And I know that this is something that I've discussed with you and Commissioner James and Vice Mayor Llewellyn. This is separate from what you're seeing inside of Dania Collins Elementary. This is on the outside adjacent to CW.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Frank.
for your support. Thank you, CFO. Last Friday, March 3rd, and one of the reasons the deputy city manager and I could not attend the PA luncheon, Mayor, but congratulations. All we heard was great things. I know Commissioner Davis was very proud. But on March 3rd, Deputy City Manager Sosa Cruz and I attended the Florida City and County Managers Association training, and we were there with colleagues from Dade and Broward County, managers, deputy managers from both counties. And one of the discussions that we were having is ensuring that our cities would have diversity in housing. This past week, I had the opportunity to go with the mayor to go see a more affordable project We know that March 29th, we have a very exciting groundbreaking that the city has contributed more than $1 million to be able to have affordable housing and 99 units behind here, in addition to Saratoga 1, Saratoga 2, Saratoga 3. I remember my first couple of months when I met with your uncle, Tim Ryan, and he said, I wish other cities in Broward County would do the things that Dania Beach is doing in regards to affordable housing. And I just wanted to put it on the record. We also want to look at workforce housing. I know that's a bill that is floating up there in Tallahassee that we're taking a close look at, that Tallahassee is going to be putting money to incentivize developers on affordable housing and also workforce housing. And they're going to want cities to put their inventory of green space out there. And like I was discussing earlier with Commissioner James, we have to find that balance in regards to what we're going to put out there to augment our green space, and not just for the RAC units, but for what we have already approved once all those buildings that you are seeing get CO'd and TCO'd, where people are going to be living there. So it's a work in progress, and a workshop that I'm going to recommend that Eleanor and Corinne and Candido put together, because unfortunately, and this happened before any of you were sitting on this dais, the city did not take the opportunity to buy land when it was affordable, so we can have more parks. So I can guarantee you, and I have Director Eric Brown sitting right there, that we're looking at every possibility. Just last week, Candido and I were looking at the configuration of where we have our police substation right in front of C.W. Thomas Park. And we went right behind there, and there's like this hidden park right behind the police substation. But clearly that design, and there were a couple of kids, and they went on their way, but there's no visibility there. And I think that we should look at a possible redesign to be able to push back and redesign that substation, create more park space, more green space that we can continue to program. So let's not find dead ends, but let's continue to look at all the possibility, not just at CW, but at citywide. And we're going to be bringing forward some more opportunities. We discussed a team building, and that was discussed by Commissioner Davis last Tuesday. Team building is extremely important. We did it with our department directors. And sometimes there's a silver lining when we face a challenge. And that's what leaders do, is they find ways to find solutions. It was a great team building for us. We're better as a team because of it. And I think that's another opportunity that I think with a new mayor and this commission and our department directors, before we get into budget, it'd be really good to bring Lyle back, because I remember Lyle, did that great strategic plan, the first in the city's history that we've never done before. And I think it would be a good opportunity, Commissioner Davis and team, and that's something that I would like to work with Maxine to schedule something right before we get into budget, and maybe it's a team building, but it allows us to work together despite some things and because of most, because that's what brings us together here as public servants. The Dania Beach Chamber has sent us a proposal as a result of our meeting, because we're looking at every opportunity to partner and invest monies in the right direction to be able to continue to promote our city. I'm going to be meeting with Jessica in regards to having more information about everything that we're doing. I'm working with Katia to be able to put together a community newsletter so people would know what we're doing and opportunities for our community to even get more involved. So that's something that we're very, very, very excited about. Last week, we met with key departments and the CRA. We are commencing the transition, passing the baton from the CRA to the city in regards to the Dania After Dark program. And we're still going to be working with the CRA, but we're going to take the lead role, working with Cassie and Parks and Recreation. And we're going to be bringing forward a mid-year budget adjustment for those key positions that we discussed, a special events coordinator and our marketing and communications director. And that's something that our CFO will be preparing and bringing to our meeting in April, or the last meeting that we will be having in March. With Commissioner Davis, we're also working to bring forward the best Earth Day that we've ever had. And it's a great opportunity to all of us come together and join and not just clean up the beach and go, but continue to bring awareness to our youth about the impact of the decisions that we make and how we conduct ourselves. So we're very excited, and I know Commissioner Davis just sent us the flyer, and we're going to be partnering with several organizations giving community service hours. So we're very, very excited about that. We have year 46 and 47 CDBG grant, which is solar lighting projects. So you might see some signs out there that talk about the CDBG 46 and 47. And this is very, very exciting because, as you know, lighting mitigates crime and opportunities because there's dark areas in our city. So we're going to be installing 36 solar lights in the general areas of Southwest 24th Street, 25th Street, 28th, 34th, and 43rd Avenue north of Griffin. In addition, the solar lighting will be installed on 46th and 47th Street, west of Anglers Avenue. And we anticipate 45 days to complete post the materials being delivered and received. We also had a great meeting today with our Director of Public Services and our Deputy Director and Candido Sosa Cruz. We wanted to light up the city for the holidays, and last year we started with a very small phase. This will be the secondary phase this year, and then as we look into 2024, which is 120th year, we're going to be bringing a budget adjustment as well to really do something significant for our city. And that concludes my report.
I just need to say one thing.
Yes.
So the CDBG projects that are going on over on the west side of town in particular, it's a little frustrating to me, and I know this probably we can't do anything about it. It's a little frustrating to me that we've done so much to try to lighten up everything and make everything bright and beautiful and pleasant everywhere, and then I guess it's the county who put up these horrible signs. They are the ugliest things I think I've ever seen in my life, and they are all over the place.
Clearly, you know what aesthetics mean to me and what aesthetics means to all of you in regards to the beautification of our city and what we've been doing in regards to landscaping. We get the money from them. But yeah, those are not our signs, but those are the
And
county
they're
signs.
huge.
Yes.
They're gigantic brown signs.
They're
just-
temporary, but they are the county. We're grateful to the county.
Yes, we are.
That
We're
we're
grateful
getting
to the
these
county
monies.
for getting it done, but
Yes, and we're grateful for the, that they're giving us these monies for our circulator. I included in the package, the county has very specific specs in regards to what they would approve. So, we have that kind of white bus going around. I've included in the manager's report this design that incorporates our Dana Beach signage. It has been approved by the county, and everybody would know that it is the city. This will be included in the community newsletter to let everybody know that it's free. But basically, we wanted to make sure, I believe it's Commissioner Davis, that you wanted it to come back and you guys to see it. And I hope that it pleases you. And that we can move forward with it. This is something that's funded by the county, unlike those signs that are not that attractive, and we wanted to.
every time I leave my house.
I would just like to see free rides on the bus itself.
And you know what, Fernando, if we can ask the word, we can actually include the word free service, maybe in the back and on the side to incorporate with this. Thank you so much, and this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, City Manager. City
Mayor.
Attorney Boutsis?
Mayor.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to ask about when we're getting these CDBG funds, are we no longer going to do the Oasis projects? Because we have like places around the city that we have these signs that say Oasis, and then we have not completed any more Oasis projects. So I'm unsure if we have.
Yeah, Candido, go up to the podium and thank you for bringing this up. One of the reasons that we're having our budget discussions earlier is you also, when the Oasis projects were going on and they were initiated, we didn't have a strategic plan with a list of all your priorities. So what we could do during budget is take a look at what you will all like to see, be it an Oasis project or included in the budget. But Candido, you want to?
Yes, Candido Sosa Cruz, Deputy City Manager. Commissioner James, we actually had a meeting today with Public Services and Colin Donnelly. Specifically, at the next meeting this month, we're going to be presenting the 5-year Oasis plan that we would like to submit to CDBG to be able to work on for the next 5 years.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, City Attorney Boutsis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to keep it short and say goodnight. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, yeah, before we move on, I just want to actually welcome our new city clerk. It's Elora or Elora?
Hey,
Elora Riera.
Thank you.
She comes to, yeah, please stand up. Yeah, come on, make yourself known. She comes to She comes to us from Miami. We welcome her with open arms. We're not going to say you have big shoes to fill, but if you watch the last meeting, you see how much we appreciate our city clerk, and we appreciate you, from the get-go. So thank you very much, and here's your first report.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure, and I look forward to working with everybody. So moving forward, we have Thursday, March 16, 2023 at 5 p.m., a City Commission workshop for advertising and marketing follow-up. The next one is Tuesday, March 28, 2023 at 5 p.m. is a CRA board meeting, and the same night, March 28th at 7 p.m. is your regular City Commission meeting.
All right. Thank you very much, Clerk. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.